11 tips and mistakes to avoid when building a new home. So, my wife and I just built our forever home, and I will tell you, it was a massive task that took 15 months from start to finish. And let me tell you why. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Grundy Guidance. In this episode, I'm going to provide 11 tips and mistakes to avoid when building a new home. But first, why did we decide to build? We purchased an 80-year-old 1,000 square foot home in an old historical part of town. The neighborhood is in process of gentrification, and about 2 years of living in the house, my wife and I decided we wanted a larger home, especially one with bigger closets. And if you know anything about older homes, closets are an afterthought. We love the neighborhood where we live, and we didn't want to leave because we are close to downtown, the airport, beaches, etc., etc. We began searching for what we needed, and boy, were we in for a surprise. We could not find a home for less than $300 a square foot. So in other words, if we wanted a 3,000 square foot home, it was going to cost us $900,000. And I can tell you straight up, my wife and I cannot afford that. Not even close. So we looked into the cost of building, and we found out it's less than half the cost of a pre-existing home. So we decided to knock our old home down and rebuild a new house. And let me tell you, I have built 2 homes in subdivisions, and the process of building a home in a subdivision versus building a home on your own land is completely different. Tip 1. Box plans versus custom. In a subdivision, the home options or styles are limited. When you're building on your own land, the possibilities are practically unlimited. We went custom to maximize our square footage instead of using blueprints you can find off the internet. It's like the difference between a box cake and a cake made from scratch. Tip 2. Credit score. In a subdivision, you can get financed for a home with a credit score as low as 600. No bank, and let me repeat, no bank that we know of will give you a construction loan for a score that's less than 720. So make sure your credit stays strong. Tip 3. Keep working. You and your spouse or the person you decide to build with needs to show 2 years of continuous income without any gaps. Tip 4. Credit unions versus banks. Now the following is an experience that we had. We found that a credit union was more friendly and flexible when compared to big banks. The big banks treated us like a number, not a person that's looking to build their forever home. All the credit unions treated us with dignity and respect. Tip 5. How much money do I need? Be prepared to put as little as 20% down. So, if your building cost is $300,000, be prepared to put down $60,000. Now, there are other things you can do to put down less, but we will discuss that in another video. Tip 6. Interviewing builders. Spend time interviewing builders. I cannot emphasize this more. Not all builders are the same. They are all different and have different culture. For example, If you are building a home in a city and a builder you hire is more familiar with building in the suburbs or rural area, that can be a problem. Pick a builder that is familiar with the area and has built in that area. They will have more knowledge of permits and all other potential obstacles. Tip 7. Spend time on what you can't see. Spend more time on items you don't see versus items you see. In other words, understand how you want your water piping, your electricity, your speaker wires, your Ethernet, cable wires, and less time on colors or fixtures because you can always change these items for a low cost. Once piping and electricity and walls are installed, it becomes very expensive to change those items. Tip 8. Living. Find a comfortable place to live while your home is being built. You will be under a lot of stress. We rented an apartment and we were frankly miserable. I wish we have rented a house. I forgot how noisy multifamily residences could be. Tip 9. All-in-one builder. I recommend hiring a builder that can also do your drawings or architectural work. I first started with an architect that was recommended, but I ran into problems with the builder and the architect. They didn't see eye to eye. I eventually went with the builder's architect, which saved me money and time. Tip 10. Permits before loan. Get your permits before you apply for your loan. Here is why. Depending on where you live and how backed up your city or county offices are, it could take several months to get your permits, especially if permits are not approved and you have to make changes like we did. Most banks will only approve your loan up to 90 days. So if you take more than 90 days to get your permits, you have to start the loan process all over again. And that paperwork is a pain in the butt. Tip 11. Keep it real. Don't install major appliances that do not match your home value. So if your final home value is $200,000, don't install appliances that you would normally see in a house that is $1 million. For example, in that $200,000 house, you should not be installing a Viking range or a Sub-Zero refrigerator because those are typical items you see in $1 million homes. So make sure you install appliances that match the value of your home. So those are the 11 tips and mistakes to avoid when building a new home. Please offer feedback and comments. And also remember to like and subscribe. And remember to always be you.